Good evening. Investigators believe this was a human smuggling operation. What we now know, 9 people have died. 8 were found dead on the scene and the 9th died in the hospital. 38 people were recovered at the trailer and a 39th was later found in a nearby wooded area. Eyewitness News reporter Alicia Nieves begins our team coverage from that Walmart, and Alicia, an employee, was one of the ones who discovered these people.
Karen?
Why do police believe more people could have been in that trailer, Alicia? If that's the case, Alicia, hopefully they'll get the medical help they need. Thank you so much. Well, the United States Attorney's Office says one person has been taken into custody. Take a look. He's identified as 60-year-old James Matthew Bradley Jr. from Clearwater, Florida. We're told a criminal complaint will be filed in federal court in San Antonio Monday morning. No details have been released on the role Bradley played in the tragedy. This morning, Richard L. Durbin, Jr., the U.S. Attorney for the Western District of Texas, sent us a statement where he spoke about plans to prosecute everyone involved, and he also spoke about the horrific conditions the victims endured.
All were victims of ruthless human smugglers, indifferent to the well-being of their fragile cargo. The South Texas heat is punishing this time of year. These people were helpless in the hands of their transporters. The driver is in custody and will be charged.
Durbin went on to talk about another deadly human smuggling case he worked on in Victoria in 2003. That is when 19 undocumented immigrants were found dead after being left in a trailer. They died of suffocation, dehydration, and hypothermia. 55 others did survive. Temperatures reached 170 degrees inside that abandoned trailer. Tyrone Williams, a truck driver, was convicted on a number of charges in connection to those deaths. Williams was sentenced to 34 years in prison. This incident in Victoria is known as the deadliest human smuggling case in U.S. history. Texas Senator Jose Menendez called the deaths heartbreaking and frustrating.
People are so desperate for a better life, a safer life, that sometimes they're willing to take the risk because things are so bad in their home country. And so when someone dies, it's not just some foreigner, it's not just some animal, it's another human being. But for the grace of God, it could be one of us, it could be one of our family members. And that's how we should be looking at these things. We can't just sit idly by and say it didn't happen to any of us. It wasn't an American. When there's a tragedy, it's a tragedy where humans lost their lives.
The senator was also appreciative for the Walmart employees who reacted quickly, as well as both Chiefs Hood and McManus for likely preventing more people from losing their lives. Immigration and Customs Enforcement also responded overnight. Acting Director Thomas Homan wrote, quote, "By any standard, the horrific crime uncovered last night ranks as a stark reminder of why human smuggling networks must be pursued, caught, and punished." He goes on to say these networks have repeatedly shown a reckless disregard for those they smuggle. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick says he prayed for the victims after learning about the deaths this morning. He says this case is one of the reasons they passed Senate Bill 4, the Anti-Sanctuary Cities Bill.
Those who think sanctuary cities are a great idea, this is what happens. When people think they can come to America illegally because there's an oasis somewhere that they can live in, that just draws them to fall into the clutches of the people who smuggle people across our border. I mean, this is an organized effort. A truck, a driver, all of those people stuffed in the back of that trailer truck. This is not by happenstance. This is organized. And they organize because they think they can come to Texas or other cities in America and have a safe haven.
Unfortunately, these kinds of incidents happen a lot more often than you may think. In fact, in 2016, Homeland Security investigators looked into more than 2,000 smuggling cases. The majority of them resulted in convictions. During that same year, HSI made around 2,700 arrests related to human smuggling operations. To report suspected smuggling activity, there is a number to call: the ICE hotline, 1-866-DHS2-ICE, or of course call local law enforcement. Turning to weather and this oppressive heat, Jared describes it always. Jared, this is obviously a reminder to our viewers how dangerous it can get inside of a hot car.
Yeah, whether it's a car, a truck, any vehicle this time of year, and the more promising coming up. Karen?
Great. Thanks for explaining that. We are continuing our team coverage on the hot truck tragedy. After the break, a live report on the victims and where you can call if you know someone that may have been in that trailer. We are now learning more about where those victims are recovering. They were transported to San Antonio hospitals, some in critical condition, but all had heat-related injuries. More than a dozen of them are at local Baptist hospitals right now. Eyewitness News reporter Andrea Martinez joins us from St. Luke's. Andrea. Andrea, thank you. Many of you are reacting to this tragedy on social media. Let's take a look. Mayor Nuremberg tweeted, "Tragedy came to our doorstep. Our city prays for the victims and families. Thank you to fire, police, and EMS who provided care to the survivors." On Facebook, Victoria Case wrote, "Not new. Vulnerability breeds tragedy. Prayers to those recovering and their families, regardless of their documentation status." Another person wrote on Twitter, "Dying for the American dream with no solution in sight. May the dead rest in peace, healing prayers for the rest." And another person writes, "So sad. My heart breaks for them all. Hope the driver pays for what he has done." If you think you know someone that could have been on that truck or went missing somewhere along the way, ICE has an emergency tip line you can call anytime. We've got that number ready for you. It's 1-866-347-2423. Keep it on KENS 5 and KENS5.com for the latest developments. After the break, what we can expect as far as rain goes for the rest of the evening. All right, that's Eyewitness News at 5:30. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here at 10.